Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk TriState with Tiny and Katie.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, all powered by HomeRight Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, the right choice, winner in the 2024 Best of the Tri-State Awards. It's Friday because you see a familiar face that you have seen every single Friday pretty much for the last almost 2 months. Dan Dodona from localnews1.org. Dan, how you doing this week?
Doing well, thanks. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to say that the worst of the cold is still cold, but the worst of it seems to have moved away, and now we're back to what we would consider seasonal temperatures.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, the days are getting longer, which is nice. That's always a good sign.
Well, we actually got some snow this morning.
I saw a little bit of that.
Just a dusting.
Yeah, that's what it should have been from the beginning.
Yeah.
All right, so Dan, what Dan does every week with us here from localnews1.org, they are a local news source, a legitimate local news, vetted, curated source. Dan, we haven't done this in a while, but take us through, quickly, if you would, the genesis of localnews1.org. Why did it come up? What did you feel was a void in our area, and where we are today?
Well, we started about, it's going on 4 years ago now. And for whatever reasons, there wasn't a whole lot of local coverage. Most of the things that you can see in any of the local papers, which are good products, don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing them,
Yep.
but for whatever reasons, they tend to cover more national and regional stuff. But little smaller things, I shouldn't say little things, but smaller things, like all the activities are taking place in municipalities, or high school scores, or Little League Baseball, or grants that are being awarded for different projects all over the Hagerstown to Chambersburg, Waynesboro, Smithsburg region. They just simply weren't being covered. So we stepped in and said, no, we'd like to know what's going on in our immediate vicinity. It's all well and good to know that people are having problems millions of miles or thousands of miles away, but we've got similar problems right here. We've got homeless right here. We've got kids that go to school hungry right here. So we don't need to go halfway around the planet to find problems, and these problems are things that if people knew about them, perhaps they would devote some attention to solving. So we report local news.
I think what happened, it used to be the way you're describing, used to be very local, very, what happened on 3rd Street in Waynesboro was what you would find in the local Waynesboro paper. But I think what wound up happening is they decided they need to cast a broader net. Let's cast a wide net and see what all we can do. Well, when you do that, that's all well and good. And like you said, good products, not bad products, not bashing anybody. But that left that void of where's the local? Where is that? Our little piece of Washington County, our little piece of Washington Township, or this part of Franklin County, where is that in coverage? How do I know, to your point, what happened in the township supervisors meeting? What happened in the borough council meeting? Mm-hmm. So all of those things are exactly what localnews1.org provides, and we're so happy that we have the partnership with you, your team. They are top notch. If they say they're going to send something in an email, it is sent, before I even know to even look for it. So that's what Dan is here for, and that's why, and all week long, by the way, on Let's Talk Tri-State, the news stories that you hear, by and large, are provided to us by localnews1.org, and we certainly appreciate and value their partnership. So what Dan does every Friday is we kind of do a recap of the stories. Dan takes over as the news director that he is, so to speak here, gives us a recap of the week's news, leads off with some things that you can do over the weekend coming up, and then we will end it. Dan, you said you have something special about some...
Well, I'm just going to recap some of the other services that we provide in addition to the regular news, regular events and features. So.
Well, the floor is yours. Let's talk about some things that are going on this weekend.
Okay, every Friday, one of our features is 5 things to do this weekend. So
the Friday 5.
The Friday 5. So the first item includes a variety of items for those who have been hibernating during the winter doldrums here in the first part of January. We call them the bare minimum activities. First of all, for those who don't have a lot of money, don't want to do anything expensive, just like some quiet time, consider the libraries. Franklin County libraries, there's libraries in Washington County. They're great opportunities because you got all kind. Not only are there books, they've frequently got record albums, They frequently got movies, and they cost you nothing to go in and watch these things.
You want to hear something?
Warm and quiet.
Very interesting, Dan. I don't mean to interrupt you, but you brought up about interesting things that they had that you might not have known. We just had a representative from the Franklin County Library System on last week. And did you know that in Chambersburg, well, actually I think in the Greencastle Library and maybe the Chambersburg Library, they have baking dishes that you can check out and use. So they have like it's all about the different cakes that people can make. So the example that was given was a unicorn baking dish to make a unicorn cake. They also have tools that they can loan out. Huh. So all of these things you would have no idea, and I learn every time the Franklin County Library System is here something different that I didn't know. Yeah,
the libraries have really taken seriously the idea that it's no longer all exclusively about paper books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they've really gotten into multimedia. I know the Waynesboro Library downtown, the Alexander Hamilton Memorial Library, has got a maker section with 3D printers, if you'd like to experiment with that and study up on it. They are extending what they do. They're no longer the old quiet bunch of books, and the lady at the desk is constantly going shh. Mm-hmm. They're really getting with it. They're trying to keep up. Another thing that you can do is you can go to any variety of movies in Waynesboro this weekend. At 7 o'clock tonight, they'll be showing Brave the Dark. It's actually a pretty contemporary movie. They'll be doing that tonight at 7, tomorrow night at 7, and on Sunday at 4 p.m. And then for those who want to be a little more physically active as they come out of their hibernation, you might consider any of the gyms in the area. I know Waynesboro's got one. Fort Ritchie Community Center will give day passes so that you can use all of their facilities at a fairly reasonable price. Second topic, for those who have been craving the paranormal, the James and Jess House of Goods in Waynesboro is hosting a unique event called the Paranormal Night. That'll be tomorrow night between 8 and 11 p.m. It's a fascinating blend of antiques and the allure of the unknown. They'll embark on paranormal investigations at the historic 1912 Hoover House. Third item, over in Washington County, the Washington County Arts Council is going to be hosting its 15th annual The Art of Cooking fundraising event. That'll be Saturday at 6 p.m. This is going to feature a variety of celebrity chefs, including Tiffany and Braden Ahalt, Justin and Kate Anderson, and Ryan and Jamie Lampton, and as a special guest, Lou and Vinny Scally are going to be there. They're going to be demonstrating their culinary skills and sharing the dishes that they prepare. So you'll probably want to show up at that event over at the Fountainhead Country Club. For those of you who have missed going out on the Appalachian Trail recently for obvious reasons, but still want to go out there and see what it's like in the wintertime, the Buttonwood Nature Center is hosting the first of its monthly Appalachian Trail hike series, starting on Sunday, January 26th. It's a guided hike. It'll take participants along a part of the trail, and you will be accompanied by a Buttonwood naturalist who can answer all your questions and point things out that you might not even have mentioned. They recommend that you dress warmly. The event is free, but you'll have to go to their site to see details about where to meet and so on. You get that upon registration. And the last of the 5 items is Discovery Station in Hagerstown. It's hosting its Sensory-Friendly Sunday event, also on Sunday from noon until 4. During this event, the museum has created a welcoming environment for neurodivergent visitors. Word of the day, neurodivergent, by allowing, they're providing low-light, quiet zones and sensory-friendly exhibits. Just for the record, neurodivergent, according to the Cleveland Clinic, is a non-medical term. You don't come down with it. It's basically it's a term that describes people whose brains develop and work in different ways, which pretty much applies to everybody. But there is a broad sense of norm, even though there is no official definition of normal brain.
Or like sensory sensitive, perhaps, would be.
Well, perhaps.
Yeah.
Other terms that they said, this kind of replaces is normal versus abnormal. Abnormal distinguished from Abby-Normal, who was a character in the Mel Brooks classic, right? Young Frankenstein. Moving on. First, the big story of the week has been the snow and the cold, which started on Sunday the 19th and led to any number of delays and closings all the way through Wednesday the 22nd. Speeds were reduced. Interesting side effects that occur. Waynesboro actually reported that all of their crosswalk buttons for pedestrians had frozen in the on position. So,
wow.
So the lights were stopping much more regularly than usual. Their advice to drivers was to just simply obey the lights, whatever they were doing.
I'm sure it slowed down traffic a good bit.
Probably did a bit, which, considering the fact that there was snow and ice, was probably not a...
Right.
Maybe that was a feature rather than a failure.
I agree.
It's hard to tell sometimes. In Hagerstown, 2 nurses brought a man back to life. Theda Deffelmeyer and Shannon Crilly saved Scotty Bear's life at the Williamsport Redmond Tribe 84 facility. Apparently, he fell out of his chair. Nobody knew what happened. These nurses just happened to be there. Strolled on over, noticed that he didn't have a pulse, so they asked a waitress to go get one of those portable defib machines that a lot of places have. She brought one back. They zapped him a couple of times, brought him back. He was only gone for 6 minutes.
Wow.
But he was certainly very very appreciative.
Right place, right time.
Right place, right time. Absolutely. In Washington County, the Maryland transportation allocation for 2025 to 2030 includes $21.2 billion. The reason why that's so interesting here locally is that that provides enough money to complete the Interstate 81 Phase 2 expansion project, which is going to take about a 3.5 million segment from just north of Halfway Boulevard, 3.5 miles north, and turn that from 4 to 6 lanes, 3 on each side. So that's coming. There weren't any details on exactly when that was going to happen, but a lot of money there. Not to be outdone, Josh Shapiro in Pennsylvania announced $2.2 billion even for K through 12 funding to include a number of projects. It's a universal school breakfast, student teacher support, special ed, and a variety of others. The local impact of that in Franklin County schools was not immediately available, but that's a lot of money coming.
It is. I think of all things, one of the things I have the least problem with my tax dollars going to would be education.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the kids. I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah. They are the future. In Franklin County, several boroughs apparently got together and contracted an investigator to take a look at how properties were being assessed for property value, and they submitted their findings to the county folks. The commissioners responded by explaining how, per state instructions, the system works. Basically, it's not what you a lot of people seem to think that, well, just because there's inflation and property values go up over time, that the property values for tax assessments ought to go up all the time. A lot of people would prefer they don't, myself included. But the process actually involves them looking at each individual property as it transfers, and if there are new facilities that are put on it, they'll increase the value of those new facilities. If they've taken facilities off, they take that down. So they're not working with the baseline value that they've previously assessed. They're simply adding to and subtracting from that. So I don't know if there'll be more on that or not, but that was kind of interesting.
Oh, when it comes to taxes, Dan, I'm sure there'll be more.
Yeah, probably so. Well, prices are going up, so it's almost inevitable that eventually, just the simple things like snow removal and taking care of roads. The cost of salt's going to go up. The cost of grid is going to go up. The cost of fuel is going to go up. Hopefully that will come down with the new administration, but we'll see how that plays out. There's going to be a Rotary speech contest. Actually, there's a Rotary speech contest worldwide
Yeah.
It's called the Four-Way Test Speech Contest. This is an interesting contest. There was a fella, a Rotarian, back about 90 years ago, who was tasked with reviving a company that was about to go bankrupt. And among the things that he installed, he wanted all of his employees and all of his managers to have some basis for making decisions that were ethically sound. So he came up with something called the four-way test, which some number of years later Rotary International adopted. And so every year there is a Rotary four-way test speech contest for kids high school age. This year, the Waynesboro Rotary Club is inviting not only students from Waynesboro, but they're also inviting Greencastle, Smithsburg, and Fairfield students, and also homeschooled in high school ages to participate. Applications are due the 6th of February. There will be a trial for all of the initial applicants on the 13th of February at Waynesboro High School, and then there will be a club competition. The top 3 from the trials will compete at a club event with some celebrity judges on the 25th of February. You can get $600. There's a $600 prize.
Yeah. That's in scholarship form, or is that in prizes?
It's just prizes.
Okay.
But if you go beyond the club, there's also, because Rotary has got a hierarchy. If you go to the regional, there's more money there. You can also go to the district level, which will be up in northern Pennsylvania. Excuse me, at the end of May, I believe it is.
I remember one year I was asked to judge that contest, and it was a lot of fun. It was very good to see these young people who put together these well thought out presentations. It's very nice.
Yeah. But their task is take the four-way test and apply it to some question in order to determine what's the ethically sound thing to do. Mm-hmm. So it's very intriguing, the number of topics that come up. Let's see. Franklin County Area Agency on Aging is expanding their services to the southern part of Franklin County. They're including a second Saturday program. It'll be on the second Saturdays of every month, and it's an experiment that they're going to engage in at the Greencastle Senior Activities Center. The idea is that there are seniors who spend a lot of time sitting at home, don't necessarily have anything to do, so they're going to provide during these second Saturday events. They'll bring in some speakers. They'll have a catered meal, and it'll be an opportunity for seniors to come in. There are actually a lot of activities like this around.
Yeah.
There's a big one up in Chambersburg. Name eludes me right now, but we'll probably run a story on it in the next couple of months. But there are a lot of activities like that, and they're not. Although this one is focused primarily at seniors, a lot of the programs that they offer are very timely for almost anyone. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be over 60, which is the requirement for this. Well, you don't have to be over 60 to talk about world events.
No, you do not have to be. I embrace everyone's opinions on everything. But speaking of timely, Dan, with the last few minutes that we have, I know you said you wanted to do something a little different to wrap up this week. So
okay, well, I wanted to hit talk briefly about the who's who. We try to identify people who are being reassigned or assigned to new positions. In Chambersburg, Craig Best was selected to be president of F&M Trust. Mm-hmm. He is succeeding Tim Henry, who has led F&M for the last 9 years and will be retiring on the 29th of April. In Hagerstown, there were 2 moves within the city. Wes Decker has been assigned as the Director of Communications, and Brittany Arizmendi has been assigned as the Director of Community Engagement. Brittany is really a very, very energetic gal.
She's wonderful. She comes on the show, I think about once a month we have her on.
That's a good thing, because she is constantly looking for ways to reestablish relationships that may have fallen away between the public sector and the private sector, and they just want to promote downtown Hagerstown, and they do a really good job.
And good for Wes too. Wes has been involved in communications for years. Wes was, if I remember correctly, he taught communications at Hagerstown Community College for quite a while. So good for both of them.
Yeah. And there was only one police thing that we covered this week. The Chambersburg police arrested Brandon Robinson, age 19, on a weapons charge. Apparently there was a shooting in Waynesboro back on the 12th of January. It really involved 2 people. They are still looking for 16-year-old Aaron Keith Hellman, who was apparently also involved in the shooting incident. And just to wrap up, I'd like to remind everybody, if you go to localnews1.org, there are a number of regular features. I don't cover them here. I try to stick with the newsier things, but we have a weekly local history story about something in the local area. This week it's about young James Buchanan. Health with Holly. We have sniff notes and from the Cumberland Valley
The animal shelter there?
Animal shelter, and also from the Antietam Humane Society. Some really cute pets that are identified this week. You should see their pictures. They're great. They're looking for homes for most of these animals. There's a dining review this week. It's on Stoners on the Square in Mercersburg. We have a regular weekly brewery roundup. And for those people who do too much at the breweries, we have a long list of religious services that are available throughout our coverage area. There's about 127 different churches of all kinds. If you're looking for Greek Orthodox, you can find Greek Orthodox in the local area.
If you need a house of worship, we've got it.
And we also have regular obituaries for those who like to follow obituaries. You don't have to go to individual homes to find out what happened.
Yep.
You can go to the website, and we cover obituaries from 7 of the different funeral homes in the local area.
Very good. Well, Dan, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you in a week, okay?
Outstanding.
Dan Dodona from localnews1.org. He joins us every single Friday and does a great job of wrapping up the week and telling you what's coming up for the weekend with the 5 things on Friday. We've got more Let's Talk Tri-State coming your way in just a few moments. Powered by Virtus Men's Health in Hagerstown. Telehealth available. Find them online at virtusmenshealth.com.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Tri-State, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.
I'm Nick Seco from Home Right Windows and Doors, and we're located in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. So we do vinyl replacement windows, we do steel and fiberglass entry doors, we do aluminum storm doors, and we do sliding patio doors, all made by Provia. The windows are a vinyl replacement window, and it could be anything from double hungs to casements to bay and bow windows and everything in between. So when somebody calls in the office and needs an estimate, they get Roxanne on the phone typically, and she would schedule an appointment for me to come out and take some measurements, provide some literature, go through what options we have, and then I would follow up within about 24 to 48 hours with an estimate with all the details of the products as well as the installed price. I find that we're typically much more affordable than the companies that you see advertising on TV or in a lot of other places. If they're spending a lot of advertising dollars, obviously they're passing those costs on to their consumers. You could go to our website at homerightwaynesboro.com, or you could call us at 717-749-4874.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, all powered by Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro. The right choice, winner in the 2024 Best of the Tri-State Awards. Joining us again for a repeat visit, we have Kelly Kozlowski. She is the Executive Director of the Capitol Theater Center, or as we lovingly just call it, the Capitol Theater.
Exactly. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, it's wonderful to have you back, Kelly. You're always a ray of sunshine. We're just so happy that you were here, because when you were here before, prior to the holidays, we touched on all things Capitol Theater.
Exactly.
And you spoke about different events that the Capitol Theater themselves host each year.
Exactly.
And throughout the year that help to offset the costs that otherwise money has to come from somewhere.
Absolutely.
Bills don't stop.
Correct.
But take us through that. So let's kind of repeat that and give a brief synopsis here of how. Let me take you. Let me speak for everyone who may be watching when I say, well, I was always under the impression that if I'm paying X dollars for a ticket and everyone else is paying that, and let's say it sells out, then they must have priced it accordingly to pay everything that's needed for either this production or for the entire year.
Absolutely.
So take us through why that is a little bit misguided.
Sure. So it is a completely understandable thought process. It's like going to the grocery store and buying a loaf of bread and then wondering why the grocery store comes back and asks you for a donation to help pay for the lights and the deli guy. It doesn't compute that way. The Capitol Theater Center is a nonprofit organization, and we work very, very hard to keep our event costs down so that we are economically feasible for anyone in the tri-state area. If we were to price our tickets to cover the cost of a show, which the average cost of a stage production at our theater costs anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000. They average kind of somewhere in the middle of that, $10,000 to $15,000 to bring in an act, pay for the tech, pay for their hospitality, pay for their hotel, pay for their dinner, all the pieces that go into putting a show on. If we were to then also bring in enough money through ticket sales alone to run the building, keep the lights on, pay for the electric and the heating and things like that for a 97-year-old building, we would need to price every event that we had at a minimum ticket price of $75 per ticket, which just isn't a realistic number for our economy around here. True. And we want to make sure that anyone, regardless of their walk of life, can come to see a show and enjoy it. We really do view the Capitol Theater Center as a vessel for the arts in Franklin County. And in order to keep that running, we, again, keep our ticket prices economical, but those ticket prices are designed to cover the cost of the show itself so that the shows are self-contained. And then anything that's over and above that only covers about 28% of our operating costs. Right. So everything else comes from the generosity and support of our community. So that's where when we run our campaigns, and our campaign this season is called our Bridging the Gap campaign, because we need to bridge that gap between the income that comes in from our ticket sales and just what it costs to have the building open and operational. Right. And we do try and work very hard to make sure that we are being good stewards of those funds. We have the lowest staff to event ratio of any facility within a 100-mile radius. We create, pricing and rental opportunities for other nonprofits and school groups. And so we take our position as a vessel for the arts in Franklin County very seriously. But in order to be successful at that, we do need additional support and kindness from the patrons and from the residents of the area.
Well, when you said about the staff, you literally have stretched or are stretching as far as you possibly can the staff that you have, so
Absolutely.
as not to need to hire someone else to come in.
Correct.
To obviously raise costs even more.
I'll tell you this. I'm actually painting an office in our facility that's rented by another organization, so that we didn't have to spend the money to bring in an outside painter that we don't have.
Right.
That was a cost that we didn't budget for. And when it came to our facilities committee and they were like, I don't know if we're going to be able to afford this, I said, let me buy the materials from the company and I'll do it myself. Right. I don't mind, putting on some grubby clothes and going in and painting an office.
Sounds like something I would say as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'll do a little bit of everything, but it's important because, and all of our staff does that. We are very small but very mighty, and every single person that gives their time. I'm the only full-time staff member. We have other staff members that their hours vary over the course of a week, but all of us are there because we love and respect the position that facility has played in our community for almost a century now. And we want to make sure that it continues to be a part of our community.
What I think we should do is, obviously, the need is met now with your walls, meaning your office needing painted. But next time you have something like that needs done, let's bring you back on Let's Talk TriState. And perhaps there's someone who, like this time, there could have been a painter who said, you know what, I can come up and knock it out.
I love
you know,
that.
would love to, you know, come up there and donate my time
Oh,
if there's
I love that.
something
Thank
that you
you
need.
so much for that. That's
of course.
that's a wonderful offer. Thank you so much.
And I love to do things like that myself. So if there's, you know, any of those odd jobs like handyman type things that I could help with, I'm happy to, you know, roll the sleeves up. And,
That's amazing.
you know, my
Thank
wife
you
may,
so much.
she has a long list of things for me to do, but I'll say, honey, we're going to fit the Capitol Theater
That's
in
okay.
here.
Hey, you know, and thank you to your wife for lending you out, and you know, she's giving as well.
That's right,
she
is
giving as well.
Well, that's a very nice transition for the wives, the ladies, because coming up, you guys have a pretty big event. This has been going on since last year, so we're coming up on the second annual. Tell us about it.
Yes. So this event coming up on February 1st is our second annual Galentine's Day event. This is my favorite event that we do. I came up with this concept about 2 years ago of wanting a ladies' night as a wife and a mother and full-time staff, and I have a part-time job as well. And, you know, we ladies pack so much into our lives that sometimes we need an excuse to take some time for ourselves. We don't just want to say, we think we feel guilty or we feel like we're wasting time if we just do it for the sake of doing it. So I wanted to create an event that happened once a year that women could put on their calendars and know that first Saturday in February, I have an excuse to take a night off and have some fun. So we have, for the last 2 years, have partnered with Keystone Health, who has been an amazing partner with us for this event because they see things the same way that I do, that women always put themselves on the back burner. Last year we had a wonderful comedian who was an ovarian cancer survivor, and our focus was on women's preventative health care and how you can take care of yourself without it taking a whole bunch of time in your day. This year, I was kind of trying to spin things, and I read an article about this time last year about how women are supplementing and feeding into their mental health through nostalgia. That some of the best things that a woman can do to boost her mood, to boost her mental health, is to revisit things from her past that give her that endorphin, that good dose of, you know, those happy vibes. The dopamine effect. And whether that is re-watching an old show, binge watching an old show, rereading an old book. Also, in that article, it said that women are 3 times more likely to listen to music that they have loved for years than they are to go out and explore new artists and especially new genres. So when I was looking with this, I was like, you know, mental health. And I am very open about the fact that I am a long-time, you know, mental health sufferer. I've suffered with anxiety and depression for the bulk of my life. And it took until I was in my 30s until, you know, my husband was kind enough to say, you have to stop pushing this to the back burner. Yeah. You have to get some help. You know, I love you. Our daughter loves you. You need to stop pushing yourself aside. Yep. So that all kind of fed into this night of celebrating women's mental health. And in that kind of nostalgia thing, I found this group called the Boy Band Project. Okay. They are a amazing group of guys that do all of the 90s and early 2000s boy bands. Backstreet, NSYNC, O-Town, LFO, 98 Degrees. Yeah. They do some, One Direction and the Jonas Brothers. I mean, all of that. And, I mean, you want me to feel good? Right? You want me to feel good?
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to get in my car and put on some Backstreet.
Naturally.
But it feeds into that good dopamine feeling and that good rush. So getting those guys in there, and all of them are open about the fact too that, you know, mental health is important. And, you know, they've been on talk shows and groups and things like that talking about, you know, finding health through joy and finding health through activity. And so I'm so excited to create this night. And then on top of that, the other beauty of this night is we bring in female-owned businesses from around the tri-state area to set up pop-up shops as well.
Love it.
So we want to make sure that if, as a woman, again, finding that excuse, finding that way to spend your time, that like, okay, well, if I'm going to get a sitter or if I'm going to make my husband stay home with the kids, I want to make sure that I'm getting everything out of this night that I possibly can. So we've got shopping. We have Postmasters from Waynesboro, the coffee place, sister-owned business. They're coming and they set up a pop-up shop with snacks and coffees and things like that. So you get, good home, chocolates and pastries and stuff like that. Because what makes you feel better than that stuff?
A sticky bun with the Backstreet Boys.
Exactly. What more do you want?
What are you going to do?
Exactly. Screaming Bambino wines are there. And, so we really make it a full-service night for our ladies to give you, again, and I hate to keep using that word, but an excuse. Because we women think we need that. We think we need an excuse to take care of ourselves. And we think we need to come up with a reason. And believe me, I find them, I have to justify myself and, anyway. So,
but Kelly, I think the thing is, too, is I was told a while back that you cannot expect to be 100% in for anyone else if you're not 100% in for yourself. Yeah. And this is just a small part of that. But what you're describing to me sounds like a night I might enjoy.
Hey, we do not discriminate. Come have a great time. We will have, it is a fun night. I don't care who we are.
That's right. And I'm going to put this out there right now for guys who may not be thinking this.
Yeah.
That this is a perfect Valentine's Day gift.
Yep.
It doesn't mean that you as the guy have to go.
No.
But I'm thinking right now of my wife and her best friend.
Yeah.
That it would be, and I'm going to get the tickets and send both of them there for and Katie's probably going to want to go as well, which is fine. I'll pay for that one
fine.
too.
Yeah.
But send the three of them there. They don't get to do much together. My wife is always busy. We have our daughter, and then her best friend works all the time. So we get to see them, every now and again, play some trivia at a local brewery. But to get out, go, and I know they love the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, all of those acts.
Absolutely.
They love wine. Who doesn't love pastries? So, you really are ticking off all the boxes here with this, Kelly.
Absolutely.
So, when it comes to this event, the second annual Galentine's night out, what are the details as far as how can you get tickets, how much are tickets, what do tickets include? Take us through all of that.
Absolutely. So tickets are for the show. It gets you in. It gets you access to all of the shopping and the food and all of it. Gets you the whole night. And tickets are available on our website at thecapitaltheater.org. Capital with an O, theater with an R-E. I always have to say it.
I love it.
Because if you don't, then you end up in Georgia.
That's right. Yep. Been there.
Yeah. And then or you can call our box office, 717-263-0202. You can talk to Jenna or Vernell. They'll get you all taken care of. That gets you the night. That gets you a great way. Tickets are every ticket is less than $40. Wow. They're all under, all under that. And I will say this right now on your show that we will have starting, what time is it? It is starting at 3:00 today. That gives me a chance to get back to the office.
Okay, very good.
I will even create a code that if you put in if you book online and you go on the website and book, if you put in Let's Talk TriState,
okay,
I will get you $5 off your ticket.
Wonderful. And let's make it easy on everybody and say no dash.
Yes, no dash. Sorry, no dash.
And no apostrophe. So
make it all
straight,
one.
Let's Talk TriState. Yep. Tell us again, that code's going to get you what?
Yep, that will get you $5 off every ticket you buy.
That's amazing. Thank you for doing that.
Yes.
I'm telling you, guys, I cannot emphasize this enough. I'm going to take advantage of the keyword, the code word, honestly.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't
do it?
But this is your wife, your girlfriend, your fiance, whomever, she's going to absolutely love this as a night out. And the thing is, the beauty of it too is, guys, for as much as we love the women in our lives, we suck by and large at getting gifts. We really do. Who better to take advice from about a gift that you can get your significant other for Valentine's Day than a woman? Mm-hmm. I mean, really, that's what we look for. And so often we hear these things of, well, this would be good and that would be good, and we just put it on the back burner and think, no, we'll get the chocolate, the flowers. don't get the chocolate and flowers.
Yes, please don't.
Or, you know what? You can still get that.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not turning that away, but I think, you know, there's so much in the media and things like that now. My daughter's birthday is tomorrow, which made me think of this. I was reading this article how parents now are finding that they're gifting their kids experiences more than stuff. And I think that's important too. So this feeds right into that. And again, like I said, it's one more excuse for us. Sure. And it's almost like if it comes from our husbands or our boyfriends or significant others, it's like then we feel like, okay, well now I have permission to go.
Or
and now I don't have to ask. And then
it's been endorsed.
Right. Now I don't have to feel bad. I don't have to wonder whether he's like, all right, just go. And, you know, because I'll do that too. If if I think about it, my husband will be like, yeah, no, go ahead. And in my back of my mind, I was, did he really mean that? Did he really, does he really want, you know?
Yeah.
But if it comes this way, then that takes that mom guilt away, that wife guilt, which is real.
And
it is real.
I don't mean to make a sales pitch here, but I kind of do. Here's the thing too, because I used to be this way. The old me would go prior to us having a daughter and the wonderful stress. There's good stress. So the wonderful stress that brings along, but stress is stress.
100%. But it is stress I would not trade.
Not in a million years.
Anything.
That's right. But I would go to my wife and for something like this, like I would fold this paper up here and I would take this home with me and say, I don't want to forget to tell Mary about this. And I get home and I say, oh, hon, by the way, and explain everything to her. And I say, you should go. I want you to go. You should call Carly and you and Carly should go to this. And she would be like, oh yeah, that sounds fun. She won't do it.
Nope.
She won't remember. And I'm not knocking her, but
no, I wouldn't either. No,
but
I wouldn't either.
If you buy the tickets and you print out the receipt or the verification email or the whatever it is. Put them in a card. Happy Valentine's Day, honey. Here you go. The tickets are bought. It's a done deal. She's not going to waste it.
No.
She's going to go. It's going to then get on the calendar. Don't worry, honey. I got the kids that night. You don't have to worry about a thing. You go and do. Guys, all you have to do is part with the ticket price. You don't even get a card. Whatever you want to do, but make sure you buy this for her. Get that done. If she has an older daughter, buy them for the
exactly.
For the daughter as well.
My 11-year-old daughter is going, and she can't wait. She can't wait.
Right, and tell her when she goes that take the credit card or whatever and get whatever she wants from these shops. And I am telling, it's going to be dangerous because here's the thing.
Wait, let me give you one little thing that might help.
Okay.
So doors open at 5:30. The show starts at 7. So worst case scenario, if they walk in the door at 5:30, they only have an hour and a half to burn with the credit card at 3 pop-up shops. So it's not unlimited. You don't have too long of a worry of it's out there. So
well, here's why I said it's dangerous though. The danger does not to me come in the night of. The danger comes in, they're going to love it so much.
Yes.
That this is the second annual. There's going to be a third, fourth, fifth.
There is. I am already planning the third. We had our show selection committee meeting last night. Okay. I've already pitched Galentine's Day 3, so we are ready to go.
Well, to give Kelly enough time to get all this situated, let's wait a day after you watch this. So let's give it a day, and then make sure you get online to thecapitaltheater.org, capital with an O, theater with an R-E, and then get your tickets there. Use the code Let's Talk TriState, no punctuation, so no apostrophe, no dash. Let's Talk TriState, get you $5 off each of your tickets. I'm going to buy 3 tickets. I'm getting $15 off.
Yes,
guys, I sincerely mean it when I tell you, go do it. Your wife will absolutely love it. It is the boy band project, right? It's the premier boy band tribute band. Cannot wait. I'm not going to go because I want her to have the time with her girlfriends. But I do want to hear all about it. I really cannot wait for this. Kelly Kozlowski, she is the executive director of the Capitol Theater Center. Kelly, we'd love to have you back on Let's Talk TriState.
Thank you so much. Anytime you want.
Well, that's an open door invitation, trust me. At the very least, you'll get to meet my wife on when is the date of this actually?
It's February the 1st.
February 1st.
February 1st, doors open at 5:30, shows at 7.
Perfect. Well, we'll have you back soon, okay?
Thank
we'll have a
you
recap, all right?
I love it. Thank you so much.
More Let's Talk TriState coming your way in just a few minutes, all powered by the DRB Group, the right partner for your real estate development.
If If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Tri-State, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.